recruiting is really what you make of it. And sometimes you hear a lot of no's, and sometimes it does not work the way you want it to, right? Like you try and you try and you try and you try, and you are asking people, and it's just not going your way. You guys, the only thing that you can do is keep trying. Because at the end of the day, nothing's changed. Just people aren't interested right now. So I actually haven't talked about this analogy, and I love it, especially in regards to bookings, to recruiting, to hearing the word no. Sometimes it doesn't go as planned, right? Sometimes life throws us a curveball. Sometimes we're so scared and we want to ask, but we don't. And that is when we should be asking. So a lot of times we recruit the comfortable. We recruit the people who it's comfortable asking, when sometimes we're going to find those aces and those jacks, tens, queens, kings in the people that sometimes it's uncomfortable to ask. Maybe they intimidate you. Maybe there's something about them that it just feels kind of scary. Those are the people that you want to ask. When you feel fear, you want to head that direction, as scary as it might be. So I'm doing some donations for a Mother's Day project, and this doesn't have anything to do with recruiting, but I was at my UPS store. I go to this UPS store every single day to drop off stuff. Sometimes I buy packaging, sometimes I have to buy labels, like whatever, packing tape, all of that. So I go to this UPS store all the time. It is small business owned. Like, I don't know if you knew this, but all the UPS stores are owned by one person. And there was a new guy in there, and I'm like, who's that? And she's like, oh, that's Brian, that's the owner. I'm like, oh, cool. So I like give her my stuff, I'm talking to her, I'm buying stamps. And in my mind, I'm like, you should ask him for a donation for your thing, for my Mother's Day project. And I'm like, no, he doesn't know me, right? Like, he doesn't know me. But I'm in here all the time, and they know me. So finally, I like start to walk away, and I'm like, you know what? Hi, Brian. My name's Amanda. I wanted to introduce myself. And I just gave him a spiel. I didn't really take no for an answer. I was like, I was wondering how much you'd like to donate today. After telling him my spiel, he donated $100. So that was something that I could have just walked out and been like, no, he's going to say no. Well, I would have walked out and thought to myself, he was going to say no. And I didn't even give him the opportunity to say yes. So that's one thing I want you guys to think about recruiting, is if you're not asking because you know they're going to say no, you aren't even giving them the opportunity to say yes. So another analogy that I'm sure you've heard, and maybe you haven't, but is, who here has gone to dinner? Give me some like hand emojis, like, woo, yep, I've gone out to dinner before. Sometime in your life. Because I want you guys to really think about when you go to dinner. Okay, so I got a thumbs up. Getting a couple thumbs ups. Okay, so when you go to dinner, or lunch, or breakfast, let's talk breakfast. Your waitress is going to come by, or waiter, and they're going to, if they haven't already, they're going to hand you their menus. Hand you your menu, hand you your menu, hand you your menu. Then they're going to say, while you take a look at your menu, can I get you started with something to drink? And you're like, sure, I would love a mimosa, or Bloody Mary, or water, coffee, whatever. Let's say you get a coffee. I love coffee. So they bring you your coffee, and then they say, usually at breakfast, they don't ask you if you'd like any appetizers. But at dinner, sometimes they take your drink order, and right away they say, would you like to start off with any appetizers? Onion rings, we have really amazing mozzarella sticks, we have garlic bread. They're giving you ideas of what to order for an appetizer. You have two options. You can say, oh no thank you, we're good right now. We're just going to look at the menu. Or you can say, ooh, yeah, hit me up with some of those mozzarella sticks. Those mozzarella sticks, my friend, are the third-party opportunity in terms of recruiting. So you're going to be like, hey girl, I know you're just thinking about this, but I would love to invite you to an opportunity. They have the opportunity to say, no thanks, I'm okay right now, I'm going to keep looking. Or they say, yeah girl, get me some of those opportunity events. Mozzarella sticks sound amazing right now, by the way. Can you tell I'm hungry? So your waiter goes back, they bring out your drink, they put in your mozzarella sticks or whatever appetizer you ordered, or maybe you didn't order an appetizer, and they're going to come back. Hey, I wanted to check to see if you're ready to order. And you're like, no, I need a couple minutes. They're like, okay, I'll come back. I'll follow up with you. I'll come back. How does that work in our world? We say, hey, I wanted to see if you had any questions. And the person's like, no, I'm good right now, but I might have some. So come back and 2 days and let's chat again. And you're like, okay, cool. Follow up. You wouldn't want to leave that person hanging. They're hungry. They want dinner. You haven't taken their order yet. You haven't even asked them if they have any questions about the menu. So if you just, as a waiter, you just say, okay, great, and in your mind you're like, oh my gosh, she's not interested in dinner, I'm not going back to that table. That's what we do. We say, oh my gosh, she's not interested in the opportunity, I'm not going to ask her, I'm not going to follow up with her. She said she's not ready to talk, or she doesn't have any questions yet, so I'm not going to follow up with her. You guys, that is like leaving someone at the table at a restaurant and not going back to see what they want to order. Rude. I would be so mad, especially if I was hungry. So, you're the waiter and you come back and you say, okay, what would you like to eat? And they give you their order. Well, you're going to come back after you put their order in and you're going to say, do you want a refill on your drink? Are you ready for your check? After they eat, do you want dessert? These are all questions that someone has the opportunity to say, no thank you, I'm good, or not right now, come back, or yes, I would like a refill. But at no time while you are at this restaurant and this waiter is asking you questions, at no time when you say no, are they like, she hates me. Oh, she hates me. She hates this opportunity. She hates this product. She hates this mozzarella sticks. They don't think that. And if you say no to a drink refill, they're still going to ask you again. And that's what we should be doing with the opportunity. If they say no to you right now, that doesn't mean it's no forever. They're going to be thirsty at some point, and they're going to want you to come back if life has changed. And maybe they'll be thirsty, and maybe they'll want the opportunity. And yes, checking out at a restaurant is way easier than closing the deal sometimes when someone wants to join the opportunity. You just hand them the check and they pay. But it's kind of similar. You're handing them this opportunity. You're giving them a lowdown of what comes in the kit and how much it costs. They don't even have to tip you when they sign up for our opportunity. So I want you guys to think next time you go out to dinner and you say, oh no, I don't need a refill. That person, watch their expression. They say, okay, and they walk away and they go serve the next table. They don't get all butthurt and like, oh my god, table 5 hates me. They don't want more coffee. They don't want another mimosa. So don't take it to heart when someone says no to you about the opportunity, because you never know when it might turn into a yes. And they might just need time. They might want to watch you. They might want to see what you're doing. They might want to see the success that you're having. And ultimately, if you don't ask, it's always going to be a no. Always. Always going to be a no. If you aren't asking, you're never going to recruit or build a team. You may get one in like a million people that are like, hey Amanda, I signed up today under you. And you're like, who are you? Like, what? How did you find me? And that happens every once in a while. So, moral of this story is Always ask, because you never know what someone's going to say. And they might just look at you and say, sure, I'll join your team. That is my story for today and my kind of analogy. So I want you guys to think about, like, do you get butthurt when someone tells you no? Like, where does that come from? Is it feeling of, like, self-sabotage? Like, you're like, okay, I'm done with Jamberry. Like, one more person said no to me. No one's going to say yes. Like, really? Is that how you should react? They just simply said no. Think about all of the times that you've said no to things. I say no all the time. I say no to my husband all the time. No. Do you want to watch this? No. Do you want to go with me? No. And he isn't thinking, oh my God, she's going to divorce me. She doesn't want to go to O'Reilly's in the parts store. No. He's not thinking that. I just simply don't want to go, right? And if someone says no when you invite them to the opportunity event, that's okay. They just simply might not have the time this week, but next month might be a better month. So, don't be afraid of asking. And you guys should be chasing after those no's, because the more no's that you get, the closer to a yes that you get to. So, if you guys have any questions, let me know. And I'll be back on tomorrow for sure.